On the morning of June 5th, 1960, one of the most brutal and mysterious massacres in human history took place on the shores of Finland's peaceful Lake Bodom. 4 teenagers who came to camp by the lake were viciously attacked from outside their tent in the middle of the night. The attacker collapsed the tent, trapping them inside. He then slaughtered the helpless teens by stabbing and bludgeoning them through the canvas. Only 18-year-old Niels Gustafsson survived this nightmare with severe injuries, but when he woke up, he remembered absolutely nothing. Even the homicide squad froze when they arrived at the crime scene. The killer had stolen the victims' shoes and hidden them hundreds of meters away. Who was this monster, and why did he leave no trace behind? After the massacre, the Finnish police launched a massive manhunt, but evidence was scarce. Suspicions first fell on Carl Gillström, who ran a kiosk near the lake. Known for hating campers, he had previously cut tent ropes. It was rumored he confessed on his deathbed, but his wife gave him a false alibi. The second and darkest suspect was Hans Assmann. On the morning of the murders, he arrived at a hospital with blood-stained clothes and behaved suspiciously. Whispered to be a KGB agent, Assmann was never deeply interrogated. The police sketches pointed to a mysterious man seen in the forest. The investigation hit a complete dead end, and the file was left to rot on dusty shelves for decades, leaving behind countless unanswered questions. In 2004, exactly 44 years after the tragedy, the Lake Bodom case took a shocking turn that stunned the entire world. Thanks to advancing DNA technology, the old files were reopened. Bloodstains found on the victims' stolen shoes belonged to everyone except the killer. According to the prosecution, the blood patterns proved that the attacker wore those shoes during the massacre. Suddenly, the only survivor, Niels Gustafsson, now an old man, was arrested as the prime suspect. The theory was that a drunken fight had broken out inside the tent, and Niels killed his friends in a rage. After a highly publicized trial in 2005, the court found the evidence insufficient, and Niels was acquitted of all charges, leaving the mystery officially unsolved forever. To understand the killer's motive, we must look closer at the bizarre clues left behind at the crime scene. That evening, the teenagers had parked their motorcycles right next to the tent, enjoying a peaceful night. But after the bloody massacre, the killer did something very strange. He didn't touch the valuable wallets or money inside the tent. Instead, he stole the victims' shoes, their leather jackets, and the ignition keys to the motorcycles. Why would a brutal murderer waste time collecting shoes and jackets while leaving money behind? Even more shocking, police later found the shoes hidden neatly in the woods about half a mile away from the camp. Was the killer trying to slow down the escape of anyone who survived, or was this the signature of a deeply disturbed mind? The first major suspect was a local man named Carl Valdemar Gillström, widely known as the Kioskman. He ran a small wooden shop near Lake Bodom and was infamous for his violent temper. Gillström openly despised the young campers who came to the lake. He had been caught multiple times cutting tent ropes, throwing rocks at teenagers, and chasing them away from his property. On the night of the murders, some witnesses claimed to have seen him walking near the camp. Years later, in 1969, Gillström tragically drowned in Lake Bodom, an apparent suicide. Shortly before his death, he reportedly confessed to a neighbor that he was the one who killed the kids. However, the police dismissed it because his wife had previously given him a solid alibi for that bloody night. The second and perhaps most terrifying suspect was a German national named Hans Assmann. Assmann was rumoured to be a former SS soldier and later a secret KGB operative living in Finland. On the very morning after the Lake Bodom murders, he entered Helsinki's surgical hospital behaving extremely suspiciously. His clothes were covered in red stains, and his fingernails were completely black with dirt. Doctors noted that he was faking an illness and acting aggressively. Despite these massive red flags, the police never thoroughly interrogated him or tested his clothes for blood types. Why? Many researchers believe Assmann was protected by high-ranking officials to prevent a political scandal with the Soviet Union, allowing a potential monster to walk free. At around 6 a.m. on the morning of the murders, two teenage birdwatchers, Heikki Salonen and Kalevi Harpalainen, were walking near the campsite. They saw the collapsed tent from a distance and noticed a mysterious blonde man walking away into the woods. Unfortunately, they assumed the teenagers were just sleeping and didn't investigate. When the police finally arrived hours later, they made fatal amateur mistakes. They failed to secure the area properly, allowing dozens of curious locals and journalists to walk all over the crime scene. Footprints were destroyed, vital clues were contaminated, and the killer's trail was completely wiped out. Instead of calling military experts for help, the local police ruined their best chance to solve Scandinavia's darkest mystery. In 2004, exactly 44 years after that horrific night, the Lake Bodom case took a sudden turn that shocked the world. With the rise of modern DNA technology, Finland's National Bureau of Investigation reopened the dust-covered files. Scientists focused heavily on the victim's stolen shoes, which the killer had hidden in the woods. Advanced bloodstain pattern analysis revealed a shocking detail. The blood splatters on the outside of the shoes belonged to the victims, but the inside was clean. This meant whoever wore those shoes during the attack was likely the killer. Suddenly, the spotlight turned away from strangers. The police came to a stunning conclusion and arrested the only survivor, Niels Gustafsson, claiming he was the monster they had been hunting. The trial in 2005 became the biggest legal drama in Finnish history. The prosecution argued that Niels Gustafsson, filled with alcoholic rage and jealousy, slaughtered his friends and then inflicted minor wounds on himself to look like a victim. However, the defense put up a massive fight. They proved that Niels's injuries, including a broken jaw and severe facial fractures, were too brutal to be self-inflicted. Furthermore, after 44 years, there was no solid murder weapon or direct modern evidence linking him to the act. Ultimately, the court found the prosecution's theory insufficient and full of gaps. Niels was acquitted of all charges and awarded massive compensation, walking out of the courtroom as a free man, while leaving the true killer's identity in the dark. Decades have passed, yet the quiet shores of Lake Bodom still hide the bloodiest secret in history. The weapons were never found, the motives were never truly understood, and the real killer vanished like a ghost into the thick Finnish mist. Niels Gustafsson's acquittal marked the final chapter of a story that will never have a true ending. Today, the case files sit frozen in time, serving as a chilling reminder that sometimes monsters do get away, and the truth remains buried forever beneath the silent, dark waters. Thank you for diving into this dark mystery with me. What case should we solve next? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to follow for more dark history. My name is Nexoris. Until the next mystery unfolds.